Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs. Because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Your Honor. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks. Get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room, on one stage, at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing every day is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's get it started. It's a wealth building Wednesday. Every Wednesday around here, we're building wealth. That means hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond, but we kick off the hour with a spotlight on a local business, Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, socially innovative enterprise to keep that money moving in the right direction. And then hour three, we do a deep dive with a person of interest, a hot topic, etc., etc., etc. We are on point with that today, so I'm excited. In fact, in the final hour of the show, we'll be talking about AI for good or evil. Miles is going to jump on the mic with us. Jasmine Canick will be here. She's an early adapter. And we'll look, and you know me, I'm a skeptic, so should be a good conversation. You'll be invited in, as you always are, every hour at 800-920-1580. Don't forget to tap in on socials. You can comment in the conversation on YouTube, where we stream every day. We're streaming right now. And you can also holler at me. I'm at DePrima Radio, DIPRIMA. Like, follow, subscribe. Join all the critics, all the folks that have the haters and critics, ops and friends. And you can also find us at KBLA 1580 on every platform as well for the radio station. Excited now to be joined. It's kind of a part two, I guess you could say, to a conversation we started last week. Last week we were speaking with his attorneys, and this week we are speaking with the man himself. He's a decorated U.S. Army vet, a former law enforcement officer with an impeccable record. He's a a dual sport college athlete, 2001 BCS National Championship starting kick returner for Florida State, Golden Gloves boxer, and more. Slade Douglas, welcome. Listening to the bio, looking at the rings, you seem like a major overachiever. So, and for those who are not on YouTube, he's got a couple championship rings on, and he's wearing this small flag, USA flag on his lapel. So I'm guessing from that either you're running for president or you consider yourself to be an extraordinary patriot.
Both.
Really? So you are going to run and you are a patriot.
Yes.
So just looking at your bio, it seems you're probably the last person in the world that we would expect to be suing the LAPD.
Right. But it just goes to show that anyone at any given time can be subject to the abusive culture of LAPD that dates back many years.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so tell me what happened. Last time we talked to your lawyers, so it's now we're seeing this story through your eyes, which is more of a first-person account. So it sounds like it started with a dispute you had with the VA, the Veterans Administration. And by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Actually, it was based upon my advocacy. Because of my advocacy, I was a target of a VA-initiated swatting.
Wow. Okay. So that sounds crazy, but you were advocating for what? I mean, what was your cause?
Veterans and dealing with the homeless veterans, dealing with the fraud, waste, and abuse,
Okay. So you were like a whistleblower at the
yes.
VA, and obviously, as a veteran, you use their services. You know what the challenge is and what their problems are. So you were just trying to call attention to those things, make some change. And then what you're telling me is the VA retaliated against you?
Absolutely. Yes. And it was during a phone call as it related to a follow-up to that complaint that I had filed.
You file a formal complaint. You're on the phone following up, trying to see what the status of it is.
Yes.
And what, you get into it with the person on the phone?
Well, actually, she felt that she said some things that were inappropriate. She asked questions that were unprofessional, inappropriate, offensive. And then subsequently, she said some things that I perceived to be racist. And subsequently, approximately an hour later, LAPD was at my door.
And wow. Okay, we're being joined now by your colleague. You work with him. He's a senior administrator at Equal Justice Now. This is an organization that's spearheaded by Attorney Ben Crump, who's probably America's most famous civil rights attorney right now. And they say that they are just beginning their journey into the legal waters of America's justice system. They're a nonpartisan, nonprofit social welfare organization. And so we're being joined by Thomas Lucas by phone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us, and, looking forward to getting your perspective as this story unfolds. So, Mr. Douglas, you don't seem like the type that thinks everything is racist.
Absolutely not.
Like, I feel like it would have to be pretty over the top for you to respond that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
How many times? I mean, is this something you've encountered a lot where you're like, okay, I'm going to make a complaint because these people are racist, or was this one of the few times you've gone that far?
No, as it related to the complaint itself, again, it was systemic. It was dealing with the fraud, waste, and abuse with the veterans, homeless population. But this particular individual, she had a lot of biases and prejudice toward black veterans.
So the LAPD knocks on your door. They knock on your door?
Yes, they did.
And what did they tell you? Why are they there?
They told me because they had received a call from the VA.
Okay. So why do you characterize that as a swatting? I guess most people would say, why did they say that the VA called the police?
So a squatting is actually when the person who actually makes the false emergency call is done with malicious intent to cause the person harm. So when you're calling the police, especially after the conversation we had, it's my belief that she was hoping that they would capitalize on the historically brutalization of black men.
That's crazy to me. It's like she wanted them to go beat you up or kill you.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I want to ask Mr. Lucas, do you see this a lot with your organization? I know, for example, Dr. Melina Abdullah, my colleague here at the radio station with Black Lives Matter Grassroots, has had her home swatted either 2 or 3 times. And so how common is this as a retaliatory tactic?
Yes, it's extremely common. You'd be surprised. We hear about these things all the time. Unfortunately, and fortunately, in Mr. Douglas's case, his attorney team and himself, as a veteran, you read his resume. I mean, he is just and was equipped with all of the battle and fight that was necessary to find justice in the situation. But yes, it happens all the time, and most of the time, justice is not. It's not found.
So at this point, Mr. Douglas, the cops are at your door. Do you let them in?
I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that right there is, to me, it says you're cooperating. So you let them in, and then what happens?
I let them in. They immediately started to violate my rights by attempting to search my residence.
Yeah, when I read that part of the story, it reminded me of Sonia Massey.
Yes.
You let them in, and then they start doing stuff that had nothing to do with the situation. So they're searching. Are they searching your residence? Are they what kind of violations?
They attempted to. Subsequently, they did, including looking at papers that clearly is a Fourth Amendment violation. But yes.
Wow. And then what happens?
They arrested me for calling 911 because I requested that they leave. I revoked consent. Obviously, I had not committed a crime. They did not have a warrant. So once I revoked consent, you have to leave. They refused to. And I called 911, and for that, I was arrested.
So you called the police on the police?
Yes.
And they arrested you for that?
Yes.
Did 911 still come, or the cops just shut it down?
Yeah, they literally shut it down.
Wow. Okay, so here's something that most of us, I think, are not familiar with, which is that once you let them in, you can ask them to leave. I don't know that your story would encourage us to do it, but that is a right that we have, Mr. Lucas.
Absolutely, and I understand you questioning whether or not his story is one of purpose in that way, but we see it as such. That's why he's taking the time to speak on different media outlets to educate the masses on what their rights are. You do have the right to do such. You do have the right to call 911 on an officer that is not handling themselves correctly. And so, yes, we want this to be an educational opportunity for the masses.
And you do have the right to say, I changed my mind. I no longer consent. Consent is not a permanent state. It's like, okay, no, I want you to leave now. You can say that. Whether or not they respect it is another thing. But legally, we have the right to do that.
100%.
Yeah. All right. We are talking with Mr. Slade Douglas and Thomas Lucas, talking about this extraordinary case. Mr. Douglas has just won a massive judgment against the LAPD. I believe it may be the largest one for a person who is still here to tell the tale. We'll continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
Hi, I'm Tavish Smiley. You may have heard me talk about the new course I'm teaching, The Art of Conversation. Well, it's here, and I'm holding a live, free preview session on January 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific, Here's why this matters. For almost 40 years, I've made my living having conversations that count. Presidents, activists, artists, people who've changed the world. And I've learned something in the process. Most folk have no idea how to ask a real question, how to listen, how to create a moment. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, hosting a podcast, or just want to connect better, this changes how you show up. It's free, it's live, and I might have a surprise guest joining us. Here's what you do. Go to TavisTalks.com. That's TavisTalks.com. Scan the QR code, click the registration link, and you're in. It's January 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm keeping this intimate. Don't miss it. I'll see you in class.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, aka the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, Mr. Slade Douglas is with me in the studio. He is telling the story of his, what he's calling a swatting, but there's much, much more to it. We're also joined by phone by Thomas Lucas of Equal Justice Now. Mr. Douglas, Equal Justice Now is working with you as an advocacy group. Tell me about your partnership with them.
Yes, they're actually one of the top civil rights organizations in America, and they do a tremendous job as it relates to reform and also educating the public as well.
So you're really trying to get people connected with information, education, and advocacy beyond just your case.
Absolutely.
And it seems really important right now, given what's happening with the federal troops and, Homeland Security interfacing with regular citizens.
Yeah.
So knowing our rights, whether they're respected or not, is important, right?
Absolutely.
So that you call 911, you've revoked consent, the cops shut that down. Nope, you're not calling 911, and then they arrest you.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And then, in order to cover up the unlawful arrest, on video, they stated that we need to take them to the hospital to protect the city and you all from liability.
So they said their strategy on camera.
Yes.
Maybe they forgot the body cams were on or whatever. They said, we better take them to the hospital so we don't have liability.
Yes.
And so they were, on what pretense did they take you to the hospital? You were fine, right?
They were engaging in criminal acts under the color of law.
Okay. I mean, but I'm sure that's not what they told the hospital.
Right.
We're engaging in criminal acts under the color of law. So can you take this guy in for us so we don't get sued?
Well, actually, what they told the hospital was that they needed to find something in my system to justify the arrest.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. And so they're saying, it's like the find me such and such many votes, find me some toxicology, data that will make our case.
Yes.
So they blood test you?
They blood tested me. They also did a urine analysis.
And these are all things you did not want.
Absolutely.
So are you telling the hospital, no, I don't want this?
I did, but they took directions from the police.
Yes, not surprising. Yeah. So they blood test you. They make you go to the bathroom in a cup.
No, they didn't make me. So they drugged me, and then when I was unconscious, it's considered sexual assault with an instrument. They force catheterized me.
Whoa.
To extract urine.
That's like a scary movie at this point.
Yes.
Right now it's reminding me of Get Out or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they drugged you.
Yes.
And then after that, when the reports come back, I understand they came back clean.
Of course.
Yeah. So they let you go and have a nice day?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How long were you under their control, I guess? Like,
yes.
It doesn't take 10 seconds for that kind of anesthesia to wear off.
Right. 7 hours.
They had you for 7 hours.
7 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
So then they apologized and took you home and no I know that's a fairy tale. So what did they do? They left you at the hospital? They dropped you off?
No, they gave me a ticket. They called a cab, and the cab took me back to the location that they arrested me at.
Wow. And how are you feeling at this point?
I definitely feel betrayed by the people who are in charge, because to this day, I have not heard from the mayor. I have not heard from my city council person. Obviously, I haven't heard from my congressional representative or anyone, and they must know that this is systemic. I just happen to be one who, because of my background and so forth and so on, they weren't able to find something to further justify the abuse.
Right. So had you been a guy that smokes weed, even if it had nothing to do with that swatting, they would have said that's the reason why.
Absolutely.
Or if you would have had anything. And then, of course, the fact that you're literally a fighter,
right?
I'm sure is a factor too.
Yes.
Yeah. So you pick up the phone, you say, "I'm suing." Is that where you started? Like, what happened next? What was your determination? Because I can imagine feeling really gross, but also pretty angry.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they took a part of you away from you that will never come back.
What is that part?
Like the person who I was prior to it happened, that person will never return.
Really?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Because of feeling violated, because of feeling betrayed?
And the trauma as well.
Yeah.
From even because I have violated no law. I've always done everything that I was told to do in terms of how you would be treated in a court, and stay out of trouble, go to school, get your degree,
go to the Army.
Yes.
Be an athlete.
Yes.
This guy, I mean, for those not on YouTube, he's about as clean cut as you can get. I mean, I hope you take that as a compliment.
Thank you. Yeah,
but
thank you.
So you said, is that the first thing you thought, I'm going to sue these folks?
No, because after it happened, I felt so empty inside, depleted, because I was injected 9 times as well.
Wow.
9 times while I was double handcuffed to a gurney. So it was a lot of things that actually went on, physically, mentally, and psychologically, because it was a very torturous experience. So I had to pick the pieces back up. And they didn't allow me to make a call to notify anyone.
That's illegal, right, Mr. Lucas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's so many aspects that were just super illegal. Yes.
Yeah. So so you're traumatized.
Yes.
And I'm guessing you didn't want to call the VA for help.
Absolutely not.
So where did you turn?
Well, to reflect back, it took some time because it's an automatically withdrawal per se, to where you want to be isolated.
Yeah.
And subsequently, obviously, I had to start with treatment due to the trauma and so forth. And then I knew the only way there was going to be accountability if I were to sue, because clearly LAPD leadership was aware of what took place. They did not reach out either, because there are cases sometimes when the chief of police, when they hear about an incident like this, they will reach out.
I'm going to tell you, I've interviewed many, many, many victims of police abuse in my 30 years on the mic, and I haven't met one yet that's been reached out to. So, maybe I'm just interviewing the wrong folks, but so no one reached out.
No one.
And this is Los Angeles. They're asking in the YouTube chat for those that joined us late. This is LAPD. You live in Los Angeles. Still no one's reached out to you.
No.
So you take a little time to pull yourself together, and then you think, I've got to take some action. I've got to fight back.
Absolutely, because I realize how systemic this is as well. I'm not the only person that they have done this to, because they were so comfortable doing it. I mean, when you can sit there, arrest somebody for exercising a constitutional right in their home, and then on camera you're going to say, hey, we taking them to the hospital to protect the city, and you are from the cops from liability. That's systemic. That's a culture that they're used to doing whatever they want to.
Yeah, it's a blueprint. We'll
Yes.
continue our conversation with Mr. Slade Douglas and Thomas Lucas when we come forward. We've got news, traffic, and sports only right here, KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN nailed a 2-hour press conference saying his crackdown on undocumented immigrants is a key accomplishment. Former NBA star Derrick Rose has launched a new venture, Rose's Flower Shop, a family-run business inspired by his retirement gesture of sending roses to loved ones. The online shop offers weekly drops of fresh bouquets and will host events in Chicago.
Connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Hey, KBLA delegation, you know what's better than laughing? Laughing while celebrating the legends who made us laugh in the first place. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to present our annual Black History Month luncheon. And this year, we're honoring comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents were sent to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a 5th of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm 2. They ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs, because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Sean. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room on one stage at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, I'm speaking with Slade Douglas. He is a veteran, a U.S. Army veteran, an NCAA athlete, Golden Gloves boxer. He's got multiple black belts and college degrees, who ended up suing the LAPD after a retaliatory call from the VA leads to a swatting, what they're characterizing as a swatting, because they called the police on you for no reason, and then they refused to leave your home, refused to allow you to call 911, arrested you, took you to the hospital in what is self-described as a cover-up, and they keep you there for 7 hours. It sounds like torture, actually. Is that how you remember it?
Absolutely. It was very torturous, physically, mentally, and psychologically.
You said you feel like you'll never be the same person you were before this happened. Do you feel yourself coming back from this? Are you in therapy? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, of course. Yes, I'm in therapy. I have a excellent support system around me as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue doing everything I can to help make this world become a better place, such as yourself.
Thank you. So then you decide to sue them. You find a lawyer.
Yes.
We met your lawyers
yes.
last week. And we think that when we sue or when the police investigate, it's real quick. But this, I'm guessing, was not a real quick process.
6 years.
Wow. Now, during that time, did you feel any pressure from officials? Were you did anyone try to convince you to drop the case or settle or go away?
No.
No. They pretty much left you alone.
Yes.
That's good. I guess once you got a lawyer, it's a whole different ball game, right?
Yes.
And what were you hoping would be the outcome?
It's not only about me.
Right.
Truly, I do not want this to happen to anyone.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I want to use it as an opportunity to educate people and to bring about systemic change and reform to ensure this does not happen to anyone, because this was something that, as a taxpayer, we pay these people to act with integrity, to uphold the law.
Yeah. At least not to harm us, right?
Absolutely.
That's the bottom bar. So your attorneys, two of your attorneys, Pete Carr and Lauren McRae, were here last week, and they said to me that it was important for people to know that you don't have to be unalived to have a case, that police cannot violate your civil rights. Thomas Lucas, you want to comment further on that idea, that concept?
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you again. It's exactly that, and furthermore, we want everyone to know that, this could happen to anyone. This is absolutely a systemic issue for Black, Brown, and Hispanic individuals here in this country. But at the end of the day, Mr. Douglas, he handled himself perfectly. The city's filings claimed that he was volatile, completely irate, belligerent, upset, unstable, non-compliant, but they recorded no crime, no resistance, and no danger. And so to everyone out there who feels like if they just do the right thing and communicate effectively with officers here in America and everything is going to go perfect, we want you to know that, this is something that could happen to anyone.
Yeah, well, this narrative, talking point, comply or die, basically. If you would have complied, nothing bad would have happened, is disproved time and time again by body camera footage in multiple cases. And the idea that officers are trained to de-escalate, but they don't, to me is an argument against pouring more and more and more money into training, when I think what we need are consequences.
100%.
Yeah. So you spend 6 years fighting this in court, and then tell me about what happens, how this ends, how this case ends, how you remember it.
Oh my, that's a tough one. I hope it's remembered as something that's gonna be a catalyst as it relates to systemic reform and change.
Okay, so tell me about your last day in court.
Wow. Obviously, hearing the jury verdict, it was a sense of vindication, because the taxpayers actually spoke. The voters actually spoke, and they let the city know, and they sent a message throughout the nation that we're not going to allow this to happen to anyone who have acted in a manner that's consistent with the law. And when people entrusted to with power, we're going to hold them accountable.
So they were found. The one cop was found guilty of what? Do you want to explain that?
Well, actually, both of them, because they were also subjected to punitive damages. So that means their conduct was malicious, intentional, and reckless disregard for my constitutional rights. And they were also, found for the other violations as well, such as arresting me for calling 911, Fourth Amendment, and so forth and so on.
Do you want to comment further on on this verdict, Mr. Lucas?
No, we're just extremely happy that Mr. Douglas got the justice that he deserves. We feel he could have gotten more, should have gotten more. But at the end of the day, his justice is what's most important to us. And our number one word as an organization is accountability. And so that's what we were looking for here, and we believe he got that.
Well, I think it was $6.8 million judgment. That's more than just. To me, it sends a message, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And I understand the city may appeal.
So here again, and that's their constitutional right. So everyone should be entitled to constitutional rights, even though they don't view that as it relates to some of us. However, they are entitled to do that. But here again, you have it to where they want to undermine the taxpayer. They want to undermine the constituents. This is something that the constituents stated, hey, this is what you all are going to be required to do for your abuse of authority. Then if they do appeal, now the city is going to have to put up 100% to 125%, which they will have to put up $8.5 million of the taxpayer money for the appeal to go forward. And then the $6.8 million will also accrue interest, which would be approximately $1,000 a day. So if the appeal lasts for a year, we talk about over $300,000 on top of that. And then they'll also be subject to reasonable attorney fees as well, because they were not prevailed, because there was no legal error, and the amount is not excessive considering.
So you just think, in other words, their appeal is a waste of taxpayer money?
It would be, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this may seem extreme, but I'm going to ask you. I interviewed Rodney King before he passed away, and the amount of stress that this man went through after that verdict for the rest of his life, with cops harassing him. He said every time he saw red lights in his rearview mirror, he nearly had a heart attack.
Right.
Everywhere he went, cops were retaliating against him in ways big and small. Do you worry about that? Would you consider moving? Would you consider any other means of protecting yourself from that kind of retaliation?
The Lord is my rod and staff.
So no. All right, Golden Gloves. No, but I mean, I do agree with you. I'm making light of it, but I feel like living in fear is not the way to go. It's just not. It's not a life.
Right.
Yeah. Thomas Lucas, you said Mr. Douglas acted perfectly, that he conducted himself perfectly. It's always been my contention that we should not have to be perfect to not be killed, not be harassed, not be beaten up, not be tortured by cops, or to get justice. When I find that people have a run-in, they say, well, Mike Brown stole cigars one time. Okay, so he should be killed. I appreciate the fact that Slade Douglas, with your military background and the discipline of an athlete, was able to conduct yourself and your life in a perfect way. But should we have to be perfect to get justice?
Absolutely not. I think we know the answer to that question, and it's absolutely not. No one is perfect. We don't even expect officers to be perfect. We just look for
we
equality
especially
and
don't expect
justice.
officers to be perfect. Yeah, that's why they have qualified immunity. Yeah. Okay, so, but it sounds like he did the right thing. So if something happens to you where you feel your rights are violated, what are the steps that we take, Mr. Lucas?
Well, you first reach out to an attorney, just as Mr. Douglas did. And if you're as witty and intelligent as Mr. Douglas, you'll work with your attorney team to put together an impeccable 30-minute documentary, including body cam footage of what took place. And you'll head into, your trial with your head up, as Mr. Douglas did. And you'll reach out to an Equal Justice Now organization for that moral support on the side. But at the end of the day, you stay cool and you keep your composure, and you find justice.
Yeah. They always talk about the talk that we have to give our children about interacting with police so they can survive the encounter. And I always say, I taught my child, Mommy knows lawyers. Just be quiet and comply as much as you can. Don't talk back. Don't mouth off. Don't talk. Say, I want my lawyer. I want my mom. I want my lawyer. And that's it. You don't say anything else. You don't have to fix it. That's what lawyers are for. Mommy knows lawyers. Don't try to do that. That was my talk. Just be quiet. Don't talk. And I've heard many an attorney say that the best thing you can do is be quiet. Do you have any regrets about how you handled the situation, Mr. Douglas?
I regret that it ever happened.
Of course. Yeah. What would you, if you were giving the talk to a child, what would you say?
I would reiterate the things that you said, and also for anyone, anytime the police tell you that you're under arrest, you definitely want to comply.
Yeah. Now you're under arrest. Now
yes,
they have the right to tell you what to do.
Absolutely.
Still don't have the right to violate you, though.
Right. But it's a form of entrapment, like in my case, because when they indicated that they were hoping that I would have resisted, but I knew not to.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we see officers on camera saying, stop resisting, when the person's laying there, you know what I mean? They could be unconscious.
Right.
But it's clear that they have been taught to either make you resist or claim that you are resisting in order to avoid liability.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're talking with Slade Douglas. He is telling us about his encounter with the LAPD and how he won in court, a major victory. And, of course, we're also talking with Thomas Lucas with Equal Justice Now, which is an advocacy organization started by Mr. Ben Crump, Attorney Ben Crump. And we will continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
A lot of stuff to squeeze into the last few minutes of the show of this hour. We have with Slade Douglas, who whistle blew on the VA, was subjected to a retaliatory swatting. Really, officers come to his house. He revokes consent. They arrest him, try to cover up by taking him to the hospital. Now has won what may be the biggest judgment against the LAPD for someone who lived, right? To tell the story. So I'm glad of that. I'm very glad you're okay. I was thinking about the trauma because you were talking about how traumatized you were by the situation and how you're still digging out from that. And I'm thinking to myself, this person has been in the Army and in the ring. Like, I'm a boxing, person. I like to watch boxing. If you can train and be, fight and go through the Army, seems like you wouldn't be easily traumatized.
Right, that is true. But this right here was something that you would never expect. It's something that you would see in a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying sinners. I said get out. But also you won. So they pay your legal fees. They pay the whole judgment. Who pays their legal fees?
The taxpayer.
So there's something that some lawmaker may want to take up, which is, I know that Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley is trying to end qualified immunity, particularly in light of what's happening with the Homeland Security right now. But that would make sense because I've always felt like police who do outrageous crimes should have to pay part of the judgment so that it would be a deterrent from them doing it again. In your case, the officers had punitive damages. So what does that mean?
So, yeah, they're responsible for paying a portion of the lawsuit because they was found that their actions were malicious and intentional and disregard for my constitutional rights.
Wow. And your lawyer told us that they found out later that one of the officers had a whole, or partway through your case, I said it reminded me of Law and Order, that one of the officers had a record of his own.
Yes, he was bipolar, schizophrenic, substance abuse, and also he made threatening messages to his ex-wife.
And yet they kept him on the force, covered that up, put him in counseling. That was such a revelation when your attorney, Pete Carr, said, that came out in the middle of this, and it appears to be a pattern, something that that happens where they protect officers to keep them on the job by cutting deals with domestic violence victims.
Yes, unfortunately.
So I would love to see more accountability. And tell me about what you're doing now with Equal Justice now. How did you connect with them, and what are your plans moving forward?
Yeah, one of the things is just to try to continue to again bring about the systemic reform and change. I mean, this has been going on for over 400 years, but I mean, we still have belief that this world can become a better place. It can become the America that everyone actually talks about it can be. And also, one of the things, too, we want to make sure that underprivileged individuals do have access to legal services as well, because that's another huge systemic issue that's actually plaguing a lot of people, because mainly people whose rights are discriminated against are people from marginalized communities. And I think one of the reasons as well, because when these individuals abuse their rights, they feel like they have no recourse.
Yeah, no lawyers, no team, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, and how will this, is there a positive change? I mean, we talk about the lessons, the hardships, and the blessings. Is there a silver lining here besides the money, of course?
Yes, again, it's up to the people. It's up to us, and such as yourself, and what you all do. Equal Justice now to continue supporting, shining a light on these injustices, because one of the things that they do not like exposure, because exposure leads to accountability. So you can see them trying to suppress facts, trying to place labels on abuse and things of that nature. So as long as we keep being, diligent, exposing these injustices and so forth, change will come.
And do you want to share when you plan to run for president or any other office that you might have in mind?
Yes, the next election.
Really?
Yes.
So 26 or 28?
6.
Like this year?
Or possibly, no, not, my apologies, 28.
2028.
Yes.
So when we see Slade Douglas in 2028, this will be, I imagine, somewhat of a justice agenda.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We have a minute and a half here. What do you want to leave us with? What, if you don't have something in mind, what would you change? What are some of the things you've learned about that you would like to change from this experience?
Well, for one, I think how about if I allow Thomas to?
Yeah, that'll work. Mr. Lucas, what do you want to send us off with?
I just want to remind everyone listening and future viewers that this could happen to anyone. And if it happens to you, to remember that you have organizations like Equal Justice Now and powerful attorneys like Attorney Benjamin Crump to turn to for guidance and help and moral support and legal support. And to end it off, I'm just extremely proud of Mr. Slade Douglas for all of the trauma he's endured and overseen. And he's literally a superhero, and I want him to be remembered and painted and depicted in that way. And so, I can ramble all day about my brother Slade Douglas, but I do want people to remember that what he went through, it's just not an isolated situation. It could happen to anyone.
Well, Thomas Lucas and Slade Douglas, thank you so much for joining this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your candor and your passion. We will have our Wealth Building Wednesday conversation and open phone lines, all that straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Protesters across Southern California took to the streets Tuesday. One demonstrator told KTLA she's upset over recent clashes between protesters and federal agents in Santa Ana.
I think people are rightfully angry. I don't think the federal agents should be here.
In Washington, Trump held a 2-hour press conference saying his crackdown on undocumented immigrants is a key accomplishment. Former NBA star Derrick Rose has launched a new venture, Rose's Flower Shop, a family-run business inspired by his retirement gesture of sending roses to loved ones. The online shop offers weekly drops of fresh bouquets and will host events in Chicago. And Morris Brown College has reversed course and reinstated President Kevin E. James just days after firing him without explanation. The board faced backlash over his abrupt removal ahead of a key accreditation review. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers have 14 road wins after their 115-107 win Tuesday night at Denver. Luka Doncic messed around and got a triple-double, 38 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. LeBron dropped 19 points and 8 assists. The Lakers' defense rose up at the right time. Denver made only 3 3-pointers in the second half. Denver guy Jamal Murray had 26 points at halftime. He had just 2 in the second half. The Clippers' 6-game winning streak was snapped in Chicago Tuesday night. They lost to the Bulls 138-110. 24 points and 6 assists for James Harden. Next game for the Clippers is Thursday night against the Lakers at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Chargers are negotiating with former Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel to be their new offensive coordinator. If contract talks don't break down, McDaniel will replace Greg Roman. Roman was fired January 12th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Drop it.